Hey there. Welcome to another episode of The Power of Choice. As we take another step on our journey of coming back from fear, we will take a look at the emotion of hatred. At this point, we've talked about several of the emotions that we experience in our lives and have seen that the uncomfortable feelings we have are all rooted in fear. Sure, we could just leave it at that and go about our business, but what fun would that be? In my experience, when I've taken the time to look at the myriad of mentalities I have, I'm able to move through them more easily once I understand what is triggering them and what basically made them tick. We have already chatted about anger and how it is an emotion that happens in the moment, the fight reaction when we fear rejection. Where anger is a momentary feeling, hatred is the continued judgment of a situation, basically holding a grudge. Someone angers us, and whatever the situation was, we allowed it to impact us so deeply that we decided that it was unforgivable. We have our long list of expectations, or as I call them, conditional love laws. Something on this scroll of conditional love laws was not met by someone else. Fear of not being worthy of love strikes. Bam! Our fear ego doesn't want to blame itself because that would just add to our unworthiness according to our rules. So we have to place blame on a scapegoat. We push our reasons for not being lovable, acceptable, or successful outward to an external source. Surely it is not my fault I am unhappy and not feeling loved, so I will point fingers at that person who did that thing to me at that time. We might even advertise the fault of the person to our friends and family, and sometimes even to strangers. It can sound something like, "They cheated on me, and that is why I am heartbroken now. I just don't know how I can trust anyone else again. I keep choosing losers." What a bunch of incompetent people we have running this company. I can't believe they promoted so-and-so instead of me. I never have enough money. I really needed that job. It's a full moon. That's why I'm so cranky. Deal with it. Or, I can't believe the people of this country didn't elect my candidate. Now America is going to sink and fail. No wonder there are so many things wrong in my life. So when someone isn't being who we want them to be or doing what we want them to do, we judge them as failing our expectations. When someone else disappoints us, or we disappoint someone else, whose fault is that? I don't imagine that it is the person doing the actions. So it must be the person forcing their expectations on the other person. Maybe? The fear ego doesn't want to think it's done anything wrong. So it will blame and judge anything outside of itself. Judgment is passed, and we find you guilty as charged. We grab a tight hold of that thought, and we'll keep rehearsing it over and over in our head. But we can use our superpowers to snatch us out of this downward spiral and find peace in our hearts again. Let's do this. Superpowers, activate. So the power to laugh. The power of laugh comes easier for me when I'm dealing with hatred. Because I've been on the path of coming back from fear for a while, I reached a point where my thoughts and emotions that I have are more often in the peaceful and quiet realm. So when fear sparks an angry or hateful emotion inside of me, it is very loud. It's like someone screaming an obscenity in a silent library. It gets my attention, and it comes across as extreme. The silliness of the situation just makes me laugh. I ask myself, seriously? Does it really matter that the man pulled out of the aisle in front of my cart at the grocery store? Ooh, we should shoot him a dirty look even. Oh, wait. He said he was sorry. In his eyes. I saw it when I looked more closely with love. Oh, wow. He is late picking up his daughter. It is his weekend for custody, and he wanted to get her favorite things because he loves her. Well, I release you, sir. You may go on your way. Oh, now my fear ego wants to judge me for being so judgmental. I can't believe you were so mean to that man in your mind. How quickly the wheels on the bus turn on us and throw us underneath it. But don't worry, we have a get-out-of-jail-free card. Woohoo! We can just blame it on our fear ego. After all, there are two of us living in this body. Our fear ego and our higher spiritual self. One of fear, one of love. If it's not one, then it's the other. So, we can say to our fear ego, I am rubber and you are glue. Whatever you try to throw at me bounces off of me and sticks on you. Come on now. You know that at least made you smile. All right. So the power of thank you. What has helped me with my hateful memories is journaling them. Getting them on paper somehow allows me to come back and look at them when I am calmer. And in that mentality, I do my best deep diving because I'm not so easily distracted by the shiny fear emotions. I look in depth at what the root cause of my hate was. What was I fearing? What did I think their actions meant about me? Does anyone outside of myself really have any power over me? These types of questions bring a lot of clarity to the memory. We're able to see that situation did its job of shooting a flare up into the sky so that we could wake up to the awareness that we were looking outside of ourselves for validation of our worth. We were giving our power away to someone not in authority and giving them permission to influence how we felt about ourselves. We can use the power of thank you to thank our fear ego for bringing this to our attention. We can be grateful that we can now start to wake up a little bit more and reclaim our power of choice to a stronger degree. The power of now. Many of our fear emotions are based in the future. Hatred, however, is based mostly in the past because all our evidence that supports our hatred rests in our memories. Your Honor, I would like to submit Exhibits A through Z, please. Now, some of our hatred could have its foundation in the fear that they will repeat their atrocities against us in the future as well. I mean, after all, they did it to us 3 times in the past. Guilty, I say. But with the power of now, we can purposely come back to this moment. Are they doing anything to us right now? No? then what's the problem? If the answer is yes, actually, they are doing that action against me right this second. Yay! How about the next second? Still yes? Well, how about the next moment? Know that eventually they will stop doing that action because at some point they're going to have to eat, sleep, or poop. But until break time, we can try asking ourselves right now in this moment, what am I fearing? We can try to make it our new habit to ask ourselves that question when we're feeling uncomfortable instead of choosing to react in fight or flight mode. Taking several deep breaths can help us come back from that mode and even keep us from entering it in the first place. So as soon as we feel that churning of fear inside of us, breathe. The power of no. Because the basis of hatred is significantly bound to judgment, the power of no comes in quite handy. A sign that we have ourselves under conditional love is if we're judging someone else or if we're judging ourselves. Pretty simple, huh? If we are living this moment in unconditional love, then there are no conditions. So everyone is being perfect no matter what they're doing. They are meeting 100% of our expectations because we have none. So when someone's actions are creating turmoil inside us, we know we are in the judge role. And we can ask ourselves, do they have to act the way I think they should? Power of no, activate. No, they don't. Or if we're feeling guilty about something, we might be asking ourselves, do I need to act the way that everyone else thinks I should act? No. Freedom. True freedom. Yes, of course, we'll have to choose to live with repercussions our choices for ourselves will make on us. You know, if we hurt someone else, they might hurt us back, or we could end up in jail or killed, depending on what the circumstances. But that would be our choice. In all of this, we realize that we don't have to make a decision because of what other people want for us. We get to make an educated decision on what we want to have happen in our own life. Yes. The power to question. You know, the design of conditional love laws is pretty awesome. They will continually disappoint us until we have had enough of it all. And then we get to turn inside to find the unconditional love that never left us. We're immediately freed from a prison cell that was never locked. And if we don't question our hateful emotions and memories, we will continue to attract the same situations to us. They are designed to show us what we wanted to see about ourselves until we see it. Then once we see it, and I mean truly see it, we will stop attracting those individuals and situations to us, or we may not even notice them anymore because they have no impact on us. So the difference is between saying, yeah, I know that, or I see that, versus, oh, I see that now. Let me look into that and sit with it a while. Many years ago, I attended a sermon by a gentleman, as Pastor John Hagee, and he mentioned a pretty catchy phrase that I've never forgotten. And it goes like this. Don't nurse it, don't rehearse it, but disperse it so God can reverse it. And it brings some fancy truths. We don't need to nurse the wound or rehearse the situation over and over in our minds. But we can choose to release or disperse the wrath of our conditional love laws, to dismiss the case in the court of our minds, so that the Creator of all things can change the course of our lives from one of fear to one of unconditional love. I leave you with one of my old Facebook posts called The Darker Days. It goes like this. Some days we wake up and the air feels heavy. We wake up irritated and want to kill the person next to us. Or if we are alone, we wake up feeling sad that there's no one there to kill. Worry is there when we open our eyes, whether it be about relationships, finances, the condition of the world, or that we have to get up and go to a job that we feel is slowly draining our life energy. Then we realize there is a frickin' full moon coming up, and we understand why our emotions are all over the place and amplified. Then we force a smile. And then we force a laugh. There it is, a small spark of light in a dark place. We remember that we are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and that we have everything we need right here, right now. We remember that this is an adventure, not a boring boat ride across a stinky lake. And in our best pirate voice, we say, "Arg, this is me adventure. You best step off fear, or you be walking the plank." A few deep breaths, and there is more light. Another breath, and there is more and more love. It is amazing on the dark days how much brighter the light appears. Contrast, what a great adventure. Next episode, we'll be taking a look at the emotion of indifference. Until then, take some deep breaths and focus on one situation where you have felt or still do feel hatred. Try to objectively look at the circumstances as an observer. Try not to take the actions personally. See them for what they really were, expectations. See yourself as the judge in your court of conditional laws. Feel the compassion in your heart. Release them from your wrath. And if you don't feel like you're willing to do that yet, maybe consider at least granting them parole. Because after all, the other person isn't being caged by your emotions. Just you are. Remember, in every moment of your life, you never have to do anything you don't want to do.